Hello, Gary Crowley here with DoItYourselfJointPainRelief.com, and this is video 1 of 3 videos of best hamstring stretches. I'm going to show you a bunch of different stretches for your hamstrings because depending on your body and maybe what you have going on, the best hamstring stretch for one person is not always the best for another, just because some people can't get in certain positions or compromise in certain ways. So I'm going to show you a whole bunch of different stretches. I'd encourage you to try them all and do them all along with me, and notice what works for you and notice what works the best for you. And you can focus on those, but then you'll always have some tools in your toolbox if you get stuck with your hamstrings someday, which is my goal, so you can fix yourself whenever you want. So first and foremost, I want you to understand the master key to releasing your hamstrings effectively. This is a picture of the front of your leg. This is a picture of your thigh muscles, and that is your rectus femoris muscle. That is a big, strong quad muscle on the front of your leg, and that rectus femoris attaches basically to the front of your pelvis. And your hamstrings attach to the bottom of your pelvis, and what we want to do when we're stretching is, because your hamstrings attach to this bottom of your pelvis, and this, your rectus femoris attaches here, this is all one big mass of bone. They give different names to your ischium and your ischial tuberosity and your ilium and all these things, but it's one big mass of bone. So if you flex this rectus femoris when you're stretching your hamstring, it will tilt your pelvis forward and be in the ideal position to stretch these hamstrings. So the key to releasing your hamstrings effectively is flexing your rectus femoris, at least especially in these first 2 stretches I'm showing you. So what we want to do here is I'm going to show you the very basic stretch that I show in a lot of my back pain videos and other things. But basically, you want to stand with your feet shoulder width apart and the weight in the balls of your feet. And basically you want to comfortably just kind of drop down to where you're comfortable and not actually actively stretching. And then with your legs straight, you want to flex your quads, especially that rectus femoris. You want to basically pull up your kneecaps, but flex these as hard as you can and then go into the stretch. So when you do this, what is happening is you're keeping your pelvis tilted forward, and then all that dynamic tension is being held from here to here, and it's stretching all the way down your legs. And you will feel this, and I would recommend you press into this, flex these quads, hold this for maybe 10 seconds if you can. That can be a long time. And if you're here doing that, great. If you're here, that's fine. You'll pretty quickly progress. Don't cheat. Don't bend your legs. You're not going to help yourself, and then you're going to be stretching other things that you don't want to stretch. What some people have emailed me when they see this stretch, they say, "Oh, someone told me I'm going to hurt my back if I stretch my hamstrings that way." And what I basically tell them is, if you don't engage your thighs, your rectus femoris in particular, then what happens is, then you got to do this stretch, especially if you're bending your knees, and you will feel it in your low back, and then those ligaments in your low back and things that don't have the endurance for a lot of long stretching this way. You can kind of tweak your low back doing that, but it's only if you don't engage your rectus femoris, which does keep your legs straight anyway. So you flex your quads, you push into the stretch, and then you feel the stretch all the way up here. Again, because you're engaging that pelvis. And yogis have been doing this exact stretch for, I don't know, a couple thousand years. And when you do it properly, it is really, really, really effective. So again, flex your quads, legs straight, weight in the balls of your feet, go as far as you can kind of naturally, and then press into it, go down, maybe 10 seconds. You can do 3 sets of 3, would be a great place to start. And again, wherever you are, if you keep your legs straight and that's as far as you go, then that's as far as you go. And then you go from there. And if you do this every day, 3 sets of 3, 3 times a day, in a couple of weeks you'd be amazed at how far you progress. Okay, so that's the simple, easy one that I like. I also like one Very similar, but some people have a little hard time coordinating this whole thing, so that's why I recommend the first one I do to basically everybody. But basically you're going to do the same thing. Feet shoulder width apart, weight in the balls of your feet, legs straight, and you basically want something, you know, knee level. Could be a little higher or a little, well, not much lower than your knees. Could be a little higher, but I like a little movable bench, because what you're going to do is you're going to kind of drop into this where you're comfortable, and if it's a bed or something you have to back up, but you're going to flex those quads again, raise those kneecaps, and then you're going to kind of push your body forward, almost like you're coming up out of the water and you're trying to arch your back to come up. You're going to arch your back and push forward, and actually you kind of go back a little bit here, and again you will feel this stretch here. You'll also feel a nice lengthening in your low back, which is wonderful, and I love this stretch. And I even try to get this going, and I love doing that when I can set it up that way. But a lot of times if I'm waiting for the water to boil for my coffee or something like that, sometimes I'll just drop down right there on the floor, and again, flex your quads, keep your legs straight, and you will have no problem with your low back, and your hamstrings will get loose very, very quickly. So again, same stretch either way. One, you're going straight down, and you want to feel it here. If you're feeling it up here, you're probably not doing it right. This one, same, flexing those quads, and the only thing I feel here is a lengthening. And those are the two main hamstring stretches that I basically recommend to everybody in all my patients and everything, because they're simple to do and they're extremely effective if you will do them. And if you're one of these people who's had perpetual tight hamstrings for your whole life, again, you do 3 sets of 3 of these hamstrings for 10 seconds per rep. You do that 3 times a day, 3 sets of 3. You know, in 2 weeks you'll be amazed at the progress you can make. And then your back will probably feel a lot better if you have back issues. So that's video 1. I hope you tried those along with me. In video 2, I'm going to show you some exciting ways to also stretch your hamstrings, but also manually release them if you can't get in these positions, or the stretches just aren't quite getting everything you want. So thank you for your time, and I will see you at video 2. Thanks.